I hate lies. I just don't like them. Tell me the truth and then tell me why I should still support you. Don't lie to me. And one of the lies that Joe Biden has told is that he was arrested when visiting South Africa in the 1970s. The story Biden has been telling is that he was in South Africa during the apartheid times and was arrested. And for example, Biden said in South Carolina last month, quote, "This day 30 years ago, Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid. I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto, trying to get to see him on Robben Island." Now, on February 16th, Joe Biden said he got arrested trying to see Nelson Mandela in prison. And on February 18th, he said the same thing again about a story about how he got his wife Jill to marry him. It turns out all three of those instances of claiming he was arrested were untrue. The New York Times researched it. They found no evidence that Joe Biden was arrested in South Africa. Former UN ambassador who was on the trip back in the 70s that Biden refers to says, "I have no recollection or knowledge of Joe Biden getting arrested." So Joe Biden was confronted about this. And the casual nature with which he just brushes off that he lied multiple times about being arrested, admits he wasn't telling the truth, and then just moves on is really horrible. Let's take a look at the video.
I do want to ask you about one thing that you said repeatedly on the trail. I think it's 3 times now. You said that during a visit to South Africa to visit Nelson Mandela, which I know was a very memorable visit for you, that you were arrested when you were there. Your campaign has come out since and said, no, 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 you were separated from other people at the airport. But you did say arrest 3 times. Why?
Well, what I meant to say was I got off that. Look, I strongly opposed the apartheid. I was one of the leaders. And if you doubt it, go on joebiden.com and look at the exchange between George Shultz and me in the Foreign Relations Committee. And here's the deal. I was with a black delegation, the CDC, the Congressional Black Caucus. They had me get off a plane. The Afrikaners got on in their short pants and their guns, led me off first and moved me in a direction totally different. I turned around and everybody, the entire black delegation was going another way. I said, I'm not going to go in that door that says white only. I'm going with them. They said, you're not. You can't move. You can't go with them. And they kept me there until finally I decided they were clear I wasn't going to move. And so what they finally did, they said, okay, they're not going to make the congressional delegation go through the black door. They're not going to make me go through the white door. They took us, if my memory serves me, through a baggage claim area up to a restaurant, and they cleared out a restaurant. I felt strongly about apartheid, one of the reasons we were there. And long after this, when Nelson Mandela was freed and came to the United States, he came to my office. He was one of the most incredible men I ever met. He sat down in my office, thanked me for trying to all the work I did on apartheid.
I truly don't get this. I don't. You lied about being arrested. No. I was against apartheid. But we're not arguing about that, Joe. We're arguing about the arrest claims. And there are two possibilities, and both are conceivable. Either Biden's memory is gone, which is a concern that's been raised many, many times, or Biden was deliberately lying when he claimed to be arrested in South Africa, thinking, maybe it won't be fact-checked. And that's also very, very bad. Is it believable, by the way, that someone might have a sort of hazy recollection of whether or not they were arrested or merely separated from the group? I was arrested once. I've told the story. I was at a party when I was 20, and I was holding half a beer, which I had not yet even taken a sip of. I was 5 months shy of my 21st birthday. Police entered the party because of a noise complaint. I happened to be by the door holding a beer, and I was arrested. It was traumatic. I've been at a ton of other parties. I've sometimes been separated from my friends. I've traveled all over the world. I've been in all sorts of situations. There is no doubt whatsoever in my mind, I was never arrested at any of those things. I was only arrested in July of 2004. That's the only time I was arrested. It is not hazy. Being arrested is traumatic. You remember it. Now, if Biden were someone like, for example, Jane Fonda, who gets herself arrested for protesting multiple times, okay, maybe you forget, did I get arrested at the Austin, Texas event or the San Antonio event or something like that? That is not this situation. So I don't know. I would find it would be refreshing to me for Joe Biden just to apologize for telling a story that wasn't true. And by the way, for telling it at least 3 times. Instead of what I meant when I said I got arrested is that I was separated from my group and I was against apartheid during that time in South Africa. It's not good. It's not good, folks. We'll follow up on this on our Instagram account at David Pakman Show. Follow me on Instagram at david.pakman. We will take a very brief break and be right back. I want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, Vincero Watches. They're giving my audience 15% off your entire order when you go to davidpakman.com/watch. Maybe you don't usually wear a watch and you've been thinking about looking for one to elevate your look, or you've been thinking about replacing the one you have. Check out Vincero. It's an American company. All of their watches are built in small batches from high-end materials. They look amazing, and they look like something you'd spend a lot of money on, but every Vincero watch ranges from $150 to $300. I went on their website and picked out the Kairos in white and silver. Really love the look, the combination of the white face and the beige band. Really love this one. They also sent me the Kairos limited release gold reserve set. Totally different style. This one would make a fantastic gift for a couple people I can think of in my family. Anytime you see me wearing a watch on the show, I'm wearing a Vincero watch. Go through their collection. I know you'll find something you like, and you'll get 15% off when you go to davidpakman.com/watch.